We'll start immediately.
स्टार्ट कर दो. Just go ahead. Let others come.
So I started with chapter 23 of the book. And the
Okay.
title read The Story of Our Lesser World. The story of man's lesser world. So just by reading the title, it reminded me of the concept of a cosmic calendar. Do you know about cosmic calendar? So it is like when we compress the human history in the form of a clock, cosmic clock. So the existence of humans just come down to 4 seconds in a clock of 24 hours. That is the concept which I read in school. I got reminded by reading the title. So I read about this architect called Polio. During the rule of Julius Caesar, when he was expanding the Roman Empire, he used to design the machine for him. So later on, he wrote a book also on architecture. He was the pioneer in, for creating a work for architecture. He drew a conclusion that uh, like everywhere, like the human body's symmetry, like he created temples which were in symmetry, and he could find symmetry in human body also. So he now there's another famous personality who got intrigued by his work named Leonardo da Vinci. So da Vinci also created various works where a human imposed on superhuman. He was a master in science also and architecture also, so he created that work. Other scholars also created the work by free flowing drawings. And during the period of Renaissance, he is said to have created an interest in human form. Earlier, humans were in the after the Dark Age, the humans were looked upon as sinful bodies. But after the work of Leonardo da Vinci, human anatomy was also looked upon like a work. Then, while I was reading this concept that there is symmetry and a perfect human body has to be in certain form, like the the foot as prescribed was like 1/6 of the height of the body. Like it kind of grieved me, grieved me that is there any no place for imperfect human body in the world? Like how could we idealize this is the perfect human or not? Maybe it could have been true for that period of time, but today's world, I think I would not look upon that concept. Later on, the chapter mentioned about the man's obsession in the current world. So they mentioned that it is like the healthcare industry and is like $4.4 trillion. Like it contains of beauty industry, wellness, tourism, something like that. So those are only the secondary blocks. What I could read, what I could draw my insight from the story is that they are only the secondary blocks for human wellness in terms of physical health. And the primary blocks are generally are only the general movement and physical exercise which we can do ourselves, and those are only created to create FOMO, fear of missing out, in our minds. So that is what it mentioned. And the other day also I was reading an article on sahajata. Sahajata is simplicity. So that also mentioned that it drew a connection with ego in the human mind. Like when we go on to do something which is difficult, like suppose there are two mountain treks, one is a bit easier and one is difficult. So a human mind, when he is deciding, choosing to which trek to take place, which trek to start with, and when we choose a difficult one, it is a kind of ego which is there in the human mind to choose the difficult one. Oh, easy one can be done by anyone, and I will choose the difficult one. So it there was a connection which I could find that between the ego and the simplicity and the obsession with the current world. So that is what I could find. Like
Wonderful. So that is your insights. And
those
so,
are insights, some of
what
which
action did
come
you
from
take
the books and
based on
some
that?
from my mind.
It's okay. So, what action could you take on that? With this new insight, what action could you take, or did you take today?
There's no specific action I took, but it kind of reinforced my belief into simplicity, like which I try to follow in my daily
Mhm.
life, like in terms of simple food, or maybe I do not have to spend too much on my. I do not have to spend any penny on smartwatch or maybe on those fancy applications to measure my health. So I didn't have to take any further action. It just reinforced my belief into minimalism also, that we don't require many more things and we are good with what we have.
Wonderful, beautiful. So this is exactly what we are supposed to do. And I read the book and connect the dots. The kind of life that I live, or if I want to bring any change there, then what change can I bring, and what impact could I expect if I bring that change? That is the whole objective of living any book, by the way, because a book is something when it is authored by something, the author is the authority on whatever he is saying. And naturally, but he substantially it supports it with some facts or some data.
Yes,
Okay, as a dikra, to probably it's like this only. And then he is sharing a piece of his pie with you and me as a reader. And now it is my duty to when I reading that book, it's my responsibility to figure out that how much of it is applicable for me, or it at all is applicable for me the way I'm living my life right now today.
true.
If yes, fine. If no, then what changes can I bring and I can expect to make a difference for myself. So that's the whole objective of this activity that we're doing. So good, yeah, Kesha, fantastic, fantastic. Yeah, Manish.
No, actually, one question. I didn't get the insight of the book from Keshav. Can you repeat, please? I didn't get it.
Actually, there were several concepts. So, like the author starts a chapter with a historical background, then he goes into the current world. So, there is no specific insight which I can draw. But while reading the historical aspect, what I could find, what thought process I could relate it to, that I shared with sir. And while reading the current uh, concepts of the author's chapter, what concept or what belief I could feel, that I shared with sir, and he'll share the recording anyway, so you could listen to that.
Yes,
No, no, no.
absolutely.
My question is, what is the learning? Do you think you got to know something that you want to implement in your life? That is my question.
Yeah, the answer to this is that what the author has shared, so it has kind of reinforced my belief into minimalism and that we do not have to get into FOMO. So that is what I shared with sir.
Absolutely awesome. Fantastic. Yeah, good to see you, Rameshan. Happy to see you really in my session for the first time.
And sorry to interrupt, sir. I think your concept, which you have this, so it does not have to be black and white. No, that I have to get something to learn from it. It's
No, no,
okay.
no,
I
no,
read it,
nothing,
I
nothing
felt
like
it,
that.
and I shared it.
Yeah, yeah,
Maybe I
yeah. It
read
is
it,
just like that.
and
It is just like that. Nothing has to be black and white. It's just like living the book the way you want to live it. Even if you're living one sentence, that is perfectly all right. So this is
the
what we are talking about. See, it's not about that what insight somebody is getting. It's all about how you're living that insight. Even if you're just picking up one sentence and you're living that and connecting the dots with your life, that's perfectly all right. It's not about sharing the insights in this session, by the way. This is not an insight sharing session at all.
अब दैट इज
It's
व्हाट
not,
आई टोल्ड ना कि जैसे कि अब
it's about
लियोनार्डो दा
experience
विंची
sharing.
ने या उसने पोलियो ने जैसे बनाया कि भाई ह्यूमन बॉडी के हिसाब से परफेक्ट ह्यूमन बॉडी ये होती है। अब भाई मैं उसकी बात से सहमत नहीं हूँ आज के समय में कि
Yeah,
परफेक्ट ह्यूमन बॉडी ऐसी होनी चाहिए या वैसी होनी चाहिए। तो ठीक है, उस टाइम उसने लिखा था, आज मैं उससे सहमत नहीं हूँ, तो वही चीज मैंने बता दी।
absolutely. So it's not about insight sharing, it's about experience sharing. So whatever information you're getting from the book, when you're applying it in your life, connecting the dots with the way you are living, that is what we are talking about. See, this is where we fail, like when we are just reading a book for the sake of figuring out the insights, we actually do not do anything with the book. It's just brainstorming, nothing else. It's not idea storming. Now, there's something called idea storming. Idea storming is a concept which is a concept of ontology. So idea storming means that you read something from somewhere and gets an idea, and let's say three people, four people, they're reading the same chapter, same paragraph, and you four of us are coming up with the four new ideas, and then you figure out that okay, this is what author is written in whatever context, how I see it according to my model of the world. If I look at from NLP concept, NLP perspective, every human being has a unique model of the world, and it cannot be equal with anybody. There is no match with anybody in any proportion or any portion.
फॉर
So
एग्जाम्पल इफ यू, या प्लीज
yeah.
कंटिन्यू।
So
फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ
essentially,
यू,
so essentially the whole objective is that how to live a book. It's not about just reading the book. Reading book, insight sharing, brainstorming, बहुत कुछ हो रहा है, but idea storming नहीं हो रहा है. आइडिया स्टॉर्मिंग के लिए ही ये प्लेटफॉर्म की हमने सोचा था. So it's all about idea sharing. So when you are connecting the dots with the way you are living your life, that is an idea. That okay, I could see that this is how I'm living my life, or I could see that if I do this, probably I'll get this kind of.
I have one question. Minimalism is a very old concept ना, इसमें कोई नया तो कुछ भी नहीं है. Live with
लेकिन
कोई
minimalism.
आप
बात नहीं.
चैप्टर 23 पढ़ेंगे, उसके लास्ट 2 पेजेस पढ़ेंगे तो ऑथर ने करंट ऑब्सेशन लिखा है उसमें, बट नो वेयर ही हैज यूज्ड द टर्म मिनिमलिज्म। वो मतलब मैंने उसको कनेक्ट किया है कि मैं उसको पढ़ता गया वो चैप्टर, तो मुझे लगा कि वो मिनिमलिज्म की तरफ भी डायरेक्ट कर रहा है, मतलब वो कहने का मतलब है।
नहीं, I
ऑथर
got
ने
your
कहीं पे
point.
वर्ड यूज नहीं किया है वो, मतलब
नहीं
मैंने
नहीं
उसको रियलाइज किया कि हाँ ये भी चीज हो सकती है जो वो लिखा है।
नहीं, I understand your point. That's okay. मतलब my see, when I'm reading a book, I just try to extract any new idea that I can use, I can know to implement in my life. That's what I wanted to focus on basically. So being minimalism कम से कम होना चाहिए. If you can be happy, that is always, that's a very old fact ना. उसमें नया कुछ भी नहीं है.
So
वही मैं
what?
कह रहा हूँ. I'm looking for a new idea basically from a book. ठीक है ना?
So you read the book and come up with your idea. So what have you shared? What you have to share today? Have you read the book? Any pages, any chapter?
No, today I'm into listening mode actually. I didn't read it.
Yeah. So that is the point. See, the whole point is when you read the book and you look at it from this angle, that how you can connect the dots, that makes all the difference. That how I'm implementing it in my life, what I'm doing today, what I see different for myself. That is the whole objective. It's living it. Yeah, Rameshan.
Hi, Jay. No, actually, I got a little bit of time and I happened to see your link. I thought, why don't I join and see how things are? And, basically, I wanted to understand the holistic picture and see how I'll be able to get benefited out of it, and basically, to a larger extent, how we can expand it to the others. So it was the purpose openly, and I happen to hear that there's some book discussions and all, but since I joined halfway, I heard only few.
It's okay. It's okay. So let me share what we are doing. Basically, we started with this book. What we are doing, we are reading this book at our own pace. It's
Okay.
not we are reading it in a group,
Mm-hmm.
in a group setting, but we are reading it in our own way. Whichever way I want to read, whichever chapter I want to read, I am reading,
Mm-hmm.
and then I am applying that information or that what I got from the book in my life for the day. आज अगर ये बुक मैंने पढ़ा कहीं पे भी से in the morning, then I just pick up something, maybe one paragraph, 2 paragraph, one concept, and just leave that concept for some time. just living that concept, actually living that concept for some time, and figure out that how much it is relevant for me, or what I could see for myself. Can I make myself, my life a little better? Or can I, when I connect the dots with my own way of living, what else I can do with it? See, the book that we have chosen, it's a New York Times bestseller, in the bestseller list for last 12 weeks, almost 12 weeks at number 2. And this is hardly a 1-year-old book.
Oh, okay.
एक साल के अंदर ये किताब चला गया न्यूयॉर्क टाइम्स बेस्टसेलर लिस्ट में. So it's not a joke. So the point is, if definitely whatever is there, we can have a lot of insights from it. So I'm not talking about insights. Insight, everybody is playing with insights. तो मुझे ये चीज बहुत अच्छा लगा, aha moment. What we are essentially figuring out is that how we can implement something from that book in my real life, and let me see what difference it makes.
Mm.
And eventually we are moving to, like, today is the 24th time we are meeting. And as I just said, for the first time, I'm using this word idea storming. Now, idea storming is something which is not old, or neither it is new. So, like, if you think, like, say Socrates. Now, Socrates said something very important, very interesting. He said that average people or weak minds, they discuss people. Then the average minds, they discuss events. And the wise minds or great minds, they discuss ideas.
True.
From that, this idea storming concept has arrived. Idea storming means you got some idea, you are sitting together, you're discussing it. However, this is what I did, this is where I find something new for myself, and you're just sharing it. Now, what I'm doing here, that as you are sharing your experience, this session is getting recorded. Okay. So I am taking recordings. I'm listening to the recordings in my own way anyway. Then I'm taking out the transcripts of it. I'm putting it in AI, and I'm creating stories out of it. So your sharing is getting into a form of a story, a small story, but hardly about 200 words, 300 words, not more than that.
Mm.
And that is what I'm sharing in the group,
Okay.
the story. So your sharing is getting shared in the group as a story. Now, what is the opportunity you have here? Opportunity number one, you get the access to the recording. So as you get the access to the recording, you are listening to your own sharing. It's not about what I am sharing or what Manish or what Keshav is sharing. You are listening to your own sharing. Listening to the words, listening to the emotions that you had. And then you are reading the story. And you are discovering whether this story is at all connected to whatever you shared. Or if it is connected, is it carrying the same kind of emotion which you wanted to share? So what will happen once you start practicing this whole thing? Eventually, so I'm coming up with a training program where you will be training your AI tools, Chat GPT, Gemini GPT, or Copilot, or whatever. So you will be training the AI tools to discover that how you think, how you play with your own emotions. And then when you share your stories, you're putting it into AI. AI is creating a story out of it in a form which you can put on a blog. Now, once you start putting it on a blog, you can create a new way of promoting yourself on the social media.
So kind of introspective.
Yes. Yeah, introspective and experience oriented. It's more of experience rather than introspection. Because you actually did something.
Mm.
You actually did something, you're doing something, you're connecting the dots. That yes, it is. And you will create your own style of writing. See, it could be possible that you do not know how to write well, but you know how to edit. At least if you have something, you know how to edit, how to make some changes here and there, and you can put it. And if when you start doing it, you will have your own way of writing.
True.
And possible हो सकता है कि over a period of 6 months, you create a writing style for yourself. And now you are already putting this experience sharing on the social media. Maybe मान के चलिए LinkedIn ही ले लेते हैं, तो LinkedIn में आप एक पेज क्रिएट करते हैं, वहाँ पे आप इसको शेयर करते रहते हैं. So over a period of 6 months, if you are doing it every day, just one experience you are sharing. So over a period of 6 months, you can have, say, at least 60 stories. Or there are 180 evenings, 180 days. So 180 days में कम से कम 100 story भी बन सकते हैं. And you take those 100 stories and you can write a book also. Because this book will be unique to you. Now you do not need to worry about content ideas, where I will get content to write my book. It's already there. And if this works, probably you can come out with a book every year. And these books will be actually your stories, your life stories.
Life stories, my own thinking, my own.
Exactly.
Looks so interesting, no? Even though it is the
Exactly.
first time I'm coming here,
Yeah.
no, the way you articulate, the way you mention things, it seems to be interesting. The only thing is I need to, take some time, allocate some time for those meetings and see how things are working out.
Yeah. So what we are essentially doing, we are just meeting at 7:30 on Monday to Friday, but 15-20 minutes, 25 minutes, and just sharing that small experience for 2 to 3 minutes, 4 minutes. So what we'll discover that even with this one book, multiple books can be written based on your own experiences. That is our intention.
Pinaki, I have one question.
Please.
This book is like a New York #1 seller. So can you what can you tell me some few good ideas from this book, which you find that it is something new and something unique?
See, Manish, these questions are such that again you are going back to that insight thing.
No, I'm asking not
If you
insight.
want insights, let me tell you, Manish, if you want insight, you just ask ChatGPT, you will get all the insights.
An idea, I'm asking idea, not
So
insight.
no, so I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about that you just pick something, you apply, like I already shared 2 ideas in last 2 sessions. One is about creating a list of people who are important for me, who really matter to me. And then talking to them at least for 5 minutes, maybe once in a month, which I'm not doing. So this is a social wealth. There are so many people who are important in my life. Now, when I start creating a list, now at least I know who are the most important ones. I don't know how many times I'm going to connect with them. But now if I create a system, probably I can talk to that one person at least once in a month for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because they matter to me. My friends, my colleagues, my ex-colleagues. It could be
No,
even you.
but I think this is not a unique idea, I guess. This is it's just like, whatever we focus on, that grows, right? Whether it is socially, professionally, personally, mentally, so many things like that. So
Yeah.
I'm just looking for any unique new idea from this book.
Yeah. So for me, this is unique. If for you, it may not be. You can find out something else, something other, something else. See, it all depends. किसके लिए क्या है? It all depends.
And what was the other idea you shared last time, yesterday?
This is the one I shared.
You said not 2 ideas you shared. You said.
Yeah, so this is the one idea which I shared, that preparing a list of it. Other idea is writing a letter. So writing a letter to myself, which I will open after 3 months.
Regarding what is that, like, regarding what context?
I don't know. It's just writing a letter to me that I will open up every 3 months. For example, I'm writing it today. I say I will open it on 1st July. Then next one I will open on the 1st October. Third one I will open on 1st January. Now I can be more creative, that what I want to see, where I want to see myself. It's just writing a letter to myself. Nothing unique about this either, Manish. Nothing unique about anything in this world. Everybody, whatever ideas we are talking about, somewhere, or somebody has already talked about it. But for me, it is unique. Even cutting onion with a knife is unique for me because I have never done it. It's a unique experience for me, right?
Pinaki sir, if I can draw an analogy.
Let's take a picture quickly. Manish, camera mein aa jao. See, this is what I'm talking about. Idea swarming, idea storming.
Whatever I haven't done before is a new to me. Whatever
Yeah,
I do,
absolutely.
new, even if it was writing a
Somebody
letter.
has done it. I have never done it. Say, I never had sex before I got married. Yeah. It's an old concept, right? But for me, it's a unique opportunity for me, right? Yeah. Same with feeding a baby. Same with feeding an animal. Even crossing the road. Driving on a highway in United States.
So, Pinaki sir, if
watching a
I can
volcano for
draw
that
an
matter.
analogy from your experiment, from your this experiment, like reading book is like eating food. Like you can go on eating, but that is not the most important thing. To be healthy, you have to digest. So you eat less, but you digest better. So your activity or your experiment is like a digestion, and reading the book is like an like eating.
Yeah. See, all these, as you keep on brainstorming and idea storming, lot of ideas will come out. I just said 4, 5 things right now. As you keep on doing it, lot more ideas will come out. See, Manish, you are into construction business. Building a house is not unique at all. But building a unique house is unique. Not two houses are the same. And building a house is the same old concept. Same concrete, same pillars, same stone chips and same iron rods. But what we are building out of it, that matters. That is unique. Quickly on camera. Jaldi se. Okay, so here we go. Look at the camera, not on the screen. Keep your eyes wide open. We'll count 1, 2, 3 together and we'll freeze at 3 for a few seconds. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Absolutely awesome. So गुड आज का सेशन जैसा हुआ ना ऐसा ही सेशन मैं ढूंढ रहा हूँ एक्चुअली आइडिया स्टॉर्मिंग that I always say in all my training sessions with this new awareness what do you see possible for
Can I
yourself.
share something?
So with this new awareness what do you see possible for yourself? This is the question I ask in all my training sessions, in all my coaching sessions, or all my one-on-one sessions. कि whatever I am saying आपको उसको accept करने की जरूरत नहीं ना उसको आपको reject करने की जरूरत है. You only ask yourself with this new awareness, whatever new information is coming to you, what do you see possible for yourself?
Pinaki, I want to share one thing.
Time
One
is up. Just 1 minute. Yeah, please.
which I find is a very great idea. That that is from the Napoleon Hill. Basically, he says that always think and act as everything works for you. I find this a great idea for me. It's just like uh, जैसे कहते हैं ना कि it has been done. It has been tested by science also. That when you start thinking like that, your brain start your pattern in the brain becomes same as what is how it will be when it has actually done it basically. So that's I find this a very powerful idea.
Yeah, absolutely. See, what you can do that when you are reading this, you can connect the dots with that concept also somewhere. So this is what Napoleon Hill said. This is what Sahil Bloom is talking about in this chapter of the book. And this is what I did. Based on these two ideas, I did this thing. And this is what I discovered. And that discovery can be awesome. That discovery can be unique. That discovery can be something which needs a documentation, which deserves a documentation. That could be a part of the third book. After Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich and Sahil Bloom's The 5 Types of Wealth, that could be a third book also, which will carry all your unique experiences. You can actually take references that I read this book, I picked up this concept from this book, I read this book, picked up this concept from this book, I did this, I applied this, and this is what happened. And this is what I discovered for myself. How about you discovering something for yourself as well? Life is all about discovery. You do not know what's going to happen next minute. Something happens, you discover. You discover a new Pinaki every time you interact with Pinaki. You discover a new Manish every time you see yourself in the mirror. It cannot never be the same. It's always a discovery. The point is how much you are connected to that discovery, how much you are aligned to discover yourself every moment. A new you, discovering a new you every day in the morning. It cannot be the same. You are growing. Something is changing. All right, good. So next Monday, same time, 7:30.
Sorry,
Next Monday, we are meeting again.
we're not meeting tomorrow.
No session tomorrow. Only Monday to Friday.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye.